Hi, welcome to MazatlanMyCity.com. I'm Simon Linz and I'm hosting Mazatlan's special report. Here today we are very proud to have with us as a guest Norma Bastidas Calderon.
Well done.
Did I pronounce that properly?
Yes, you did. Well done,
Thank
Simon.
you, Norma. Norma has become a little bit famous of late. She's just completed an amazing feat. She ran, I think, in excess of 4,000 kilometers from Vancouver to Mazatlan. And before I ask you about that, and I know that you've appeared on many shows, or quite a few shows. In fact, I saw a clip of something to do with Oprah Winfrey. I don't know, who's she? She's quite famous, isn't she?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah?
Not as famous as I will become, but...
Exactly.
No, she's amazing.
One of the things that struck me, made an impact on me, was I was reading your blog, and you were talking about finishing the race, and that you looked behind you and you saw this, as you describe him, as a slightly overweight, maybe 19 years of age boy.
As you say that, I know exactly where.
And in tears, struggling and hugging his mum.
Yes.
So tell me kind of why that stuck with you. What made you kind of write about that?
Because, and I know, I mean, as soon as you mentioned that, and you know, that's why I continue. I love the running sport, is because it gives you that. It reminds you of the priorities. I was frustrated because I was injured. I decided to run, and you know, I knew it was going to be posted my time, and you know, by now I'm kind of known in the running community, and I was finishing a marathon in 6 hours. I mean, that stung a bit, right? Because I mean, what am I going to do? Just let everybody know that I had an injury? And then as I was finishing, but I made a decision because I was there running with the Teens Run Modesto. And it's a program that take a youth risk, and they teach them to run a marathon.
Okay.
And you know, I was there as a speaker, and I made a promise to them that I was going to run. So I wasn't feeling the best, and I decided that I was going to run if I keep my promise. And I didn't think, I thought, I'm injured, I might finish in 4.5 hours, 6 hours, and I was like, so that's done. And I was.
You know, to most of us, that's fantastic, by the way.
It's the ego. And that's where I have to remind myself sometimes, when it's an ego, drop it. But I get caught sometimes, and I don't understand. So I was crossing, and then I looked back because there was a man who was, you know, was offering a wheelchair because I was limping badly. And I said, you know what, I know what I'm doing, don't worry. So I looked back to see if the wheelchair man was still chasing me, because I thought I was about to come here. And I thought, okay, what vote of confidence will I give if I finish a marathon in a wheelchair? My mom is not going to let me go. And then I looked back, and that's when I saw the kid. Okay. And I saw his face of joy to be able to finish something that he never thought it was possible. It was obviously his first marathon. It was young. His family was surrounding him, and they were hugging him. And I mean, I want to cry just thinking about it. His dad was so proud of him with the camera, as he should be. Yeah. As he should be. They should be incredibly proud of him for doing something, for trying his best. And that's what we all should do. Just go out and try our best. And if it's 6 hours, it's 6 hours. We're trying our best. Right. And I felt embarrassed for myself, but grateful that I was there to witness that. And I hope I get reminded every single day what life is about. So then, talking about mums, of course you ran into Mazatlan, and I believe your mum was there waiting to greet you. Yes. So that must have been quite emotional for you. How long has it been since you actually seen her? You know, I hadn't seen her in a couple of years, but she did come to Canada to look after my kids, because I am raising my children by myself. I didn't get to see her because, I mean, I did see her, but briefly, because she basically arrived, and then I left a day and a half later, because I thought if I wait for her, then, you know, something is going to come up. Right. You know, of course, we haven't told everybody, for the audience, that you're actually originally from Mazatlan. I am. Right. So my mom was here. So that's why your mum was there. Exactly. So she was living here. Right. I mean, she was here. She flew to look after my children, so I could do these. I saw her for a day and a half. Right. Just basically went, tag your it, and then I ran. So I didn't have a chance with the preparations and everything to see her. and they surprised me with my mom here, and it was incredible because I think my mom is extraordinary. It's an extraordinary woman. I mean, she raised us by herself. When my father died, I was only 11. She was left with 5 kids. We didn't have a lot. I mean, and my mom, I don't remember her ever being negative or complaining. She just did the best. And being able to share I am a product of that. Being able to share that with her, to see her. And that's where I was.
So you think you're a product of that courage as well?
Absolutely, I wouldn't be with it. If my family had handled, challenges differently, I probably would have done the same. And when my dad died, it wasn't life is not fair. Look at the neighbors, and it wasn't like that. It was more like we rally up as a family. We were very, very tight, and it's like, okay, what are we gonna do?
So that kind of leads me to Carl, your son, who I know was diagnosed with something. Forgive me again if I don't get this quite right. Cone rod dystrophy. Yes. And could you explain what that is?
Yes. And don't worry. I mean, it's the same thing that happened to me when he was diagnosed when he was 11, 6 years ago. It's the same thing. I had to ask them to write it down because I had no idea what it was. Never heard about it.
Right.
Now it's something that is very familiar. It's in the same family of the retina diseases, which is retinitis pigmentosa, macular degeneration, and but it obviously affects the cones and the rods. And so anything to do with light absorption, color, movement, and and it's a condition that has no cure and is progressive, unfortunately.
Right. But how's he doing, by the way?
He's doing fantastic.
Yeah. I really kind of, again, made an impact on me when I read your blog when you finally found out as a family that he had it. And in fact, as much as it was a shock to you, he was kind of expressed relief and sort of said, well, I've been telling you this.
Yes.
So he's clearly a kid with a lot of courage and a sense of humor.
He's incredible. I mean, I get, and that's the frustrating. That's when I see myself as a hero or as a famous. I mean, you have to understand that I have a choice, and I'm here by a choice, and I'm here to accomplish something. But people like my son, they have no choice. He can't say, well, you know what, I would like to see now. I think I'm done being tired. But he has no choice yet. He never complains. He's a hero. And people like them, they continue. And they do it with so much dignity that is incredible.
Right.
And he's the one that, for him came as a relief because it is so rare that they kept saying, oh, there's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong. He just wanted us to understand that indeed he couldn't see well. And then, it was slowly getting worse. For him, it was a relief. For me, was the beginning of the agony, because now it's not something that I kept thinking, oh, if it's emotional, we'll get you, therapy.
Right.
And it wasn't something as simple like that. So it was the beginning of my agony and the beginning of him that I'm just, fine, just get me the tools I need, because all I need is a couple of adjustments to be a normal kid again. And so it was incredible. And I mean, that's probably why I work so hard trying to be okay. I'm not okay with that, and I'm never going to be okay, but I have to make the most, and I have to be positive. I have to stand up every single day and wake up my kids and say, we're going to be okay.
Right.
And that's what, the only way I can is by doing this, by waking up with a purpose of finding a life for my kids and myself.
So you started to run.
I did. I couldn't sleep. And
I think I read something like it was either drink myself to death or run myself to death.
Absolutely. It was vodka 3 a.m. or running.
Right.
I mean, it was. And it was so simple, and it is very true.
And now you've run all these amazing races. Somebody was telling me about, actually just before we began the interview, Lisa, the editor of Mazatlan, My City, was telling us about the 777, the 777
run for sight.
Tell me about that.
Well, I did that because, I wanted to do a world record. I wanted to raise awareness in funds. And I remember asking about, what happened. How can my son be losing his sight? And, and the doctor said, well, your ex-husband and you carry the same gene and you passed it. Because it's not only carrying, but, obviously I'm a carrier, but don't have it. My ex-husband has a carrier, so it was, both of us had to carry and pass it. And I was like, okay, he's Canadian, Danish-Canadian, and I'm Mexican, and we met in Japan. How is that possible? It's like, to me, it was like, and he's just like, really bad luck.
Cool.
And I was, and after a while, I remember thinking, my son heard that. My son sat in that room at 11 years old thinking, I'm a product of bad luck, and I hated it. I hated it with all my guts. So I thought I'm going to do something, and let's celebrate it. It's luck. Who knows what he's here for? And I'm going to celebrate it. He's my son. I love him. So it was 777 jackpot. Run for sight.
Wonderful.
That's simple. I mean, I wasn't expecting to be as successful. I ended up raising 150,000 for 3 organizations. Operation Eyesight Universal, that brings medication and care to children in Africa and in India. They had no access to conditions that lead to blindness. Foundation Fighting Blindness, that is looking for the cure, and Canadian National Institute for the Blind.
Amazing, wonderful. Just finally, I also read something about something you said. I guess it was in relation to the fact that you're starting to write a book, and you were slightly fearful.
And that's when it started.
I don't know if you can be slightly fearful of anything, but anyway, scared, shall we say? And you wrote something. I think it said, everybody has fears, my fears are not mountains. I think that's what it said. And I was wondering whether or not you're going to extend your career to mountain climbing.
I already started.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay.
I already, I have 3. I have to go back to Aconcagua, but you know, I attempted Aconcagua in my first. I did successfully summit Denali, Mount McKinley, and Kilimanjaro within 2 months, and that's where I am here. I was preparing to go after successfully summiting Denali in 8 days, 9 all the way down. I got a ticket to go to Everest. They're like, you know what? You have the talent, come with us. And I was getting ready. I was training, and then I realized this is wrong. This is more about my ego than to actually, because after these, I'm going to go and tell people that I'm brave, and I'm not brave. I have something that I haven't addressed, which is abuse, and this is all these things. So I packed that and I put it away. It's my passion. I will continue doing it. This is about the 777 Summit for sight. So I just finished running all 7 continents. I was climbing the 7 summits. And that's what I realized. I always want to be truthful. If I tell you that I've tried my best, I want to be truthful. And I realized that it's easy to do what I do because I continue doing the things that I'm not afraid. Let's face the fears. Go with the fear. That's where it is. And I wanted to write a book, and I wanted to tell about those experiences. The times that I was really afraid, and it's the times when I did not speak up, the times when I let things go, because I was, afraid. And unfortunately, that made me accomplice to many things, like the sex trafficking and the human trafficking that happens. Because, I mean, look at how big of an industry has become, and it happened to me when I was 17, almost got in, managed to escape less than 24 hours by sheer, luck that somebody came into that house that did not belong and helped me escape. I'm embarrassed to admit that I did nothing. And it hurts me. But
you're doing something
now. I am, but that's the key. And this is, I came to fix it. I cannot stand on Mount Everest and call myself brave unless I do this. Okay, well, wonderful. Now, how do people get in touch with you? Can you give us some contact information? Yes, I mean, I have a website. It's normabastidas.com. I wasn't expecting this to be this big. I was expecting to, have to knock a lot of doors for my book. So it has a lot of information, but not everything. There's a page that I started about the quest that I just finished that is called Running Home, A Journey to End Violence. Okay. And it's a page where you can see the journey from beginning to end, all the pictures. And Norma Bastidas. I have 2 Facebooks. Unfortunately, the English is packed to the max, but I still have a lot of and the Spanish side of the mix of the Norma Bastidas. There's still space. Friend me. Fantastic. Okay, well, it's been a privilege. Thank you, Simon. You've impacted on so many people's lives, and I have to say that. Just having met you, you're clearly an inspiration, and I hope we see you again soon back in Mazatlan, this wonderful city. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, thanks for that. Another Mazatlan special report. We'll see you next time. See ya.